It was almost another story, but Leonard enough legs on it. One-on-one with Norman Powell, and it clanks off the front side of the iron. Well, that will do it for us at Intuit. Adam Muslin has you the rest of the way. Miami, for the first time in 2 seasons, beats the LA Clippers 120-119 for Big Brother Jake Warner. Our engineer, Joey Kimball, our statistician, Adam Muslin, will have you the rest of the way. Final here from Intuit Dome. Miami 120, Clippers 119. The Clippers fall for the first time at home this season and are 3-3 as they'll take on OKC tomorrow. Have a safe night, everybody, and we will talk to you in a few.
I got to say, Clipper Nation, I don't love settling for that shot down 1 late. You got a timeout left. The Clippers are walking the ball up. It's not like you're catching Miami off guard with cross matchups. Kawhi had Norm on him for a second, but then help comes. That is a tough, tough loss. A tough ending. I don't know. How'd you feel about it, Carlo?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get Kawhi to have a shot for the win, I'll take it. But I think it's not even the last play, Adam, that bothers me. It's just the turnovers, you know?
Yeah, you can make the argument they lost this game long before that. That's just settling for that long jumper when Kawhi had looked like, as you mentioned on the call, he was running out of legs. But the turnovers, my goodness.
Yeah, I mean, you go 37 points off turnovers.
What, 17 in the third quarter alone?
17 points off the turnovers, yeah.
Off the 9 turnovers?
Yeah.
Those last 2 turnovers by James, looking for Kawhi, looking for Zoo. Ooh.
Jeez.
Oh. Tough one, Clipper Nation. Very tough. You got the Thunder coming in tomorrow. That is a game they needed. Now Heat fans, letting them hear it here at Intuit Dome. Let go Heat. Let's go Heat chants happening. Well, Kawhi not the hero in this one. As a jumper to win it, falls short, and the Clippers lose 120-119 to the Miami Heat here at Intuit Dome. Welcome into your post-game show. I'm Adam Muslin. Coming up, we got your post-game box score. We'll get through all the numbers, all the statistics and analysis, but first, let's get back over to Carlo Jimenez. Carlo, is a game where the Clippers were far too sloppy with the basketball against a team like the Miami Heat, who are going to make you pay, especially because they lead the league in pace right now. And we know the Clippers, they're dead last in that area.
Yeah, the Clippers had them in a track meet, and they don't like playing track meets. And, you know, it's understandable for numerous reasons, right? I mean, you always see the fast teams get to the playoffs, and when the game slows down to the extremes, it can be hard to continue to play that pace. But we saw teams like Indiana and OKC continue to play fast and have success this postseason. I think with the Clippers, though, they just got tired. And I think that Kawhi shot encapsulates how they're feeling. I mean, he's short from the right corner 3, had his feet underneath him and just left it a little short. Great performance by the Claw. I thought he had a great game. Him and James Harden were excellent in this one. The two of them combined, Adam, to score 56 points in this game. Chris Dunn was terrific off the bench. John Collins at 12 points on 5 for 11. He was great. The Clippers just threw the ball away way too many times to give themselves an opportunity to win the game. And you look at the Miami numbers, Adam, and it's 12 steals to the 21 Clipper turnovers. So you're looking at 9 unforced turnovers. There's probably more in there, but that's just what we can see from the box score. And a wake-up call nonetheless, because you got a team coming in tomorrow who literally lives off creating turnovers.
Yeah, and you mentioned it, but those 9 turnovers in the third quarter, so many unforced turnovers and miscues there, where it just looked like the Clippers were sleepwalking out of halftime. And they sleptwalked into the start of this game. They were down 12-2. So there's starting to be a trend there. We're only 6 games in, but we've seen this in the past with this team. I thought they were much better in first quarters last season, but quite frankly, they didn't have the requisite energy and focus to start both halves in this ball game. And it came back to really bite the Clippers, because as good as James Harden and Kawhi Leonard were with some tough shots that they were able to make in the fourth quarter, it wasn't exactly like they were running great offense. It was hero ball. And the game ended with a hero ball type of miss for this Clippers team. You can only rely on that stuff so much. You have to be able to work through your offense, and the Clippers couldn't do that without turning it over.
Yeah, the Clippers struggled in that one, Adam. I mean, just had a hard time being able to go stretches where they weren't giving the ball away, where they weren't handing free points and running in transition to the Miami Heat. And credit Miami. I mean, they shot the lights out today, Adam. 54%, 48% from the three-point line, but the Clippers just struggled to stop them, and especially in the painted area. I mean, this is the second straight game a team has shot over 24 or more free throws against them, and Miami gets 58 points in the paint. It'll be something to watch as the season goes on, but the interior defense of the Clippers hasn't been as stout. They were a top 5 team in points in the paint defended last season.
Well, and the one guy who shined tonight was somebody who started the majority of last season, and that was Chris Dunn.
Yeah.
And I know Coach Lou, rightfully so, wants that 10 to 15 game sample size, but people have been calling for John Collins into the starting lineup. There may be somebody else that has to get back into the starting lineup to show this Clippers team how they need to play from the outset, because Chris Dunn always sets that example for them and really did to turn this game back in their favor. That fourth quarter performance and what he was able to do out there, and late third quarter as well, it turned the tide back in the Clippers' favor, but unfortunately, too little, too late, and the offense never really clicked in a free-flowing way where you were seeing hot potato basketball out there. I know the Clippers ended up with 25 assists, but when the going got tough late, they settled for some tough shots. And unfortunately, one of those wasn't able to drop late.
And they have some of the best tough shot makers in the league. So oftentimes for a lot of teams, tough shots can be bad shots. For the Clippers, it's good shots, but great shots are assisted. And the Clippers got to pass up good shots for great shots in this game. And that's why they fall by 1 to Miami in a close game that at one point they led by 13, came out flat, came back. Miami made a run. Clippers got it back tied. If you look at the box score, though, the Clippers, they beat themselves before that final shot from Kawhi Leonard. They had a chance to salvage what would have been an ugly win, but at the end of the day, you just can't turn it over that much, and you can't dig yourself that hole and have an opportunity to win. I mean, the Clippers still had a chance to win. That's the impressive part. Nonetheless, though, Adam, I think what we can take away from this is that the Clippers are still a team growing into their final form. They're still figuring out what pieces fit together. They're still trying to understand who works with who. Ty Lue's been very open about it. And so for this team, when does that adjustment come? How does it come? Ty talks about 10 to 12 games. We're 3-3 now, so this was game 6. Game 7 is tomorrow. We'll see how long it truly takes, but it feels like, and you pointed it out, there are still adjustments to be made. Now there's still guys to get healthy.
Yeah.
Brad's got to get healthy. But there still is adjustments to be made, and Ty's shown he'll make those. I mean, starting Kawhi the entire first quarter has proven to work.
Yeah.
So what's the next move that will prove to work? I'm sure Ty is already thinking about it.
Not a finished product whatsoever, but the Clippers dropped to 3-3 after losing 120 to 119 here at Intuit Dome to the Miami Heat. As Carlo mentioned, no rest for the weary. They got to get after it against the defending champs in the Oklahoma City Thunder in the late night hour, 8 o'clock tip tomorrow. The late o'clock tip, I will call it, 7 o'clock pregame show here at Intuit Dome. So Programming note, this is going to be happening on Tuesday night games now here on the West Coast. Clippers, OKC tipping off at 8. So, hey, a little bit more rest for the Clippers, I suppose, on this back-to-back. But they got to get this one tomorrow, Carlo. Great call as always. We'll do it again in 20 hours.
See you in 20 hours, Adam. Let's go.
Coming up next, final box score. And let's get to your station ID as we pause 10 seconds for station identification on the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. Daniel West keeping us steady back in Burbank. I'm Adam Moslin from Intuit Dome. We got your post game coming up next. Clippers fall by 1. Kawhi not the hero tonight, would miss a jumper to win it. Clippers fall 120 to 119 to the Heat. And you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. I'm here, sorry. Hey, you live by the game winner, you die by the game winner. Unfortunately, Kawhi couldn't get it to go this time. Clippers lose 120 to 119 to the Miami Heat on the front end of a home back-to-back here at Intuit Dome. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Mosland. This is Clippers Talk and your Clippers locker room show. This Clippers team shot 50% from the field. We're 17 of 41 from the outside. Scored 119 points, but some of the offense was nasty out there in the second half. And it's the turnovers. Well, they got up 5 more shots than Miami, which is surprising. Miami got up 5 more free throws, and the Clippers had 21 turnovers, leading to 37 points for Miami, and had 2 critical turnovers late. James Harden looking for Kawhi, then looking for Ivica Zubac in the block. You can't lose the possession battle there heading into that fourth quarter. But the turnovers, 9 of them, 9 of the 21 in the third quarter, leading to 17 points for Miami. Clippers made it far too tough on themselves. They got outscored in the paint, 58 to 48. They did out-rebound Miami, thanks to 11 offensive rebounds by the Clippers, really. But some of those are just on gimmies, on misses, like Ivica Zubac missing his own shot, tipping it in. He only had 9 points on 4 of 9 shooting. And in a game like this where the offense was a struggle at times. I would have liked to see them get Zoo involved a little bit more, but a frustrating one, Clipper Nation, as they fall to 3-3 now, and Kawhi is 27 and they lose. He needed that 30 spot. That would have got him the win on that long jumper at the end. They fall by 1 to Miami, 120 to 119. Quick timeout. We'll come back and get through the rest of this post game and take your calls on AM 570 LA Sports, 866-987-2570, 866-987-2570 if you would like to get on early. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to the Los Angeles Clippers Audio Network. With you guys for another 50 minutes here. It's rough right now, guys. Brook Lopez has been struggling last few games, 2 of 7, 1 of 6. He was upset with himself at one point. I think he felt like he rushed a three-pointer in the second half. They didn't run a lot of offense, one pass offense. It's honestly surprising they got 25 assists. Miami had 33, though, and just 16 turnovers. They have to be much better, more intentional, more purposeful with their offense. They're just not there. They're a step slow. It's understandable. It's only 6 games in, but you're 3-3. OKC's coming to town tomorrow. I totally understand wanting a timeout there at the end, but there is an argument to be made. Didn't have a timeout when Kawhi got the game winner. Clippers drop to 500 at 3-3 as they lose 120 to 119 at home to the Miami Heat. This one burns. Kawhi Leonard had 27, 10 of 21 shooting, but missed another potential game winner. Tough fall away that was short, as it looked like he was getting tired. This Clippers team. Look, if there's a positive here, it's that your conditioning is going to get up after you play the Miami Heat because they make you run. They're first in pace, the Clippers last. And the Clippers somehow, they had an 11-point lead with about a minute to go at the end of the second quarter. And you know who burned them from the Miami Heat? Norman Powell, a 6-0 run. That was a big swing right there. You could go up 11 heading into the half or be up just 5. Norman Powell gets his revenge, 21 points on just 10 shots, 7 of 7 from the charity stripe. The Clippers fall by 1. Final box score numbers, Kawhi Leonard with 27 on 10 of 21 shooting, 2 of 8 from the outside, 2 turnovers. Derrick Jones Jr., 5 of 6, 1 of 2 from 3, 12 points. When they really had it going in the first half after being down 12-2 early, Derrick Jones Jr. helped get them back into it. Ivica Zubac, 4 of 9. That 9 number, that's going to bother me. 18 boards, but just 9 points. He only got 9 shots. Bradley Beal, 5 of 8, 12 points. Did get to double figures, my player to watch. Said he'd get there. This was, I think, his best game. He looked the most comfortable out there. Still playing just 20 minutes. James Harden with 29, 8 of 15, 6 of 10, but 7 turnovers to 8 assists. That's not the ratio you're looking for. And a couple of key turnovers late. CP3, 3 points, did hit a big three-pointer after a Chris Dunn offensive rebound, who was spectacular and probably the best player for the Clippers tonight with his energy. Yes, he's just 4 of 6 with 10 points, but 2 of 2 from the outside. And he had multiple offensive rebounds, 3 steals, 4 assists. His energy, I think they might need it back in the starting lineup. John Collins, 5 of 11, 12 points, 2 of 5 from the outside. Brook Lopez just 2 of 7 with 5 points. Nico Batum went scoreless. Clippers lose 120 to 119. They fall here at home. First home loss of the season at Intuit Dome. The Dome is home. We'll be back here tomorrow taking on the Oklahoma City Thunder. Tip-off is at 8 o'clock. Pre-game show starting at 7. Outside of Los Angeles, we are leaving you until then in LA. Do not go anywhere. We got Clippers talk next. With you for the next 45 minutes, Clipper Nation. I hope you guys aren't too upset tonight. I hope. I put out a tweet earlier. I said, oh, we're in? Are we coming in? Why don't we just go in? Clippers lose 120 to 119 here at Intuit Dome. Their first loss of the season here, and they're 3-3. As the Miami Heat take them down, and Norman Powell gets some revenge with his 21 points. Kawhi had 27, but had a long jumper to win it. Not to be this time. Clippers lose a heartbreaker in a game where they didn't play very well offensively, having 21 turnovers, 9 of them unforced, at least, because the Miami Heat had 12 steals. I'm Adam Osland. If you'd like to get on tonight, we're on AM 570 LA Sports as the Dodgers season concluded. Back-to-back world champion Dodgers now. We'll show love to them. This big brother Jake Warner, I know, is still on a high after what happened Saturday night in Game 7, but we'll be on AM 570 the rest of the way until spring training. 866-987-2570. This Clippers team had chances to dig one out of the dirt, despite how poorly they played at times. And it started early. They got down quickly once again. And I don't know if Coach Lou's going to wait for 10 games to make a move, because this trend defensively, especially in the first quarter, ain't going anywhere. Miami had a 10-0 run to make it 12-2 early. And the Clippers just looked like they were stuck in first gear. And there is a guy on this team that completely changed the complexion of this game with his energy when he came in the third quarter after the Clippers started that half slow as well, and that's Chris Dunn. And I'm just wondering, while everybody else is talking about John Collins needs to be in the starting lineup, and hey, I'm fine with that. Never been against it. But tired is get Collins into the starting lineup. That's old news. Wired is get Chris Dunn back in the starting lineup to me. Because as good as DJ has been, and he's been great so far, there is an intangible with the spirit that Chris Dunn plays with that reminds everybody else how hard they have to play out there. Said it all the time with Patrick Beverley in a different building. Chris Dunn energized them. The offensive rebounds, the steals, the scrap, the fight. I think they need a reminder. He came in for Beal in the third quarter and just got to work. A three-pointer, their first field goal in 3 minutes to make it a 10-point game. Then had a crazy bank shot where I think he was looking for Ivica Zubac, but got it to go. But it's really about what he's able to do with those little things, those tip outs, leading to a CP3 three-pointer. The intangibles, the heart, the hustle, as Brian Seaman would say, I'll take heart over height any day. He said that a lot for Patrick Beverley. I'm sure he's been saying it for Chris Dunn. His defense was so good. But that tip out he had to get it to CP3 to tie the game at 105 and get the Clippers on an 8-0 run early in the fourth quarter was special. It was a hard miss on a three to a Chris Dunn tip out to CP3 to finish off an 8-0 run by the Clippers and tie the ball game up at 105. And then he and Brook Lopez come together to create a turnover. Those two have been working pretty good defensively. Anybody with CP3 will, but Brook Lopez is a very good defender in his own right. The Dunn steal on Bam leading to the Collins dunk to make it 107 to 105. These are winning plays that spark the team. He's a catalyst for that. And maybe they need it to start games, to start halves, and they can't wait to get down 10. Because it's been happening far too often in first quarters. And now you got OKC coming in tomorrow. And if you have 21 turnovers against them, you're not winning the ball game either. This was a matchup of contrasting styles. The Clippers, slowest pace in the NBA. The Thunder, fastest pace. Or excuse me, the Heat, fastest pace. Thunder play at a fast pace too, but the Heat have turned things around with their offense and the way they're doing things. They're playing at the fastest pace in the NBA. That's typically not Eric Spoelstra's style. They're adapting. And they don't have Tyler Hero, so they need more ball movement. They need to get more easy buckets out there. Get them in transition. But this Clippers team, despite the 21 turnovers, still could have won this ball game because they're that talented. The Kawhi fall away on a complete bailout broken play at the 3:37 mark to tie the game at 113 on the right baseline was incredible. What a shot. James Harden hitting a three-pointer to tie it at 116 from way out. Huge shot. Had a couple of those. That's individual greatness, but it's not necessarily great offense. Harden also had a bad pass to a cutting Kawhi. That was turnover 20 at the 2:38 mark of the fourth. Kawhi fell to the floor. Wiggins got a three as Kawhi was tying his shoe. May have rolled his ankle. We're going to have to check on that post game. But it wasn't just the final shot that I didn't love. After the Clippers were down 120 to 116 because Bam went to the line and the Clippers didn't get a great whistle, but Bam got fouled by Zubac going left, hit both. Clippers down 4. Kawhi took a deep three on the right wing. It was short. It was well defended by Wiggins. Bam misses one. Harden hits another three. Clippers within one, 19.5 seconds left. And they pull it off. They get Dunn back in the ball game to have him, DJ, Kawhi out there with Zubac and Harden. And Zoo and Dunn corralled Norman Powell to cause a jump ball between Zubac and Powell. A mismatch. They win it. Kawhi has Norm on him. Help comes. Tries. I don't know if it ended up being a three-pointer. But in a game you're down by 1 with that much time left, it wasn't a great shot. It was a three-pointer. Type of shot you take when you're tired, you don't feel like getting to the basket maybe. and it was just individual hero ball. Now, he was the hero Friday night, but remember, that all happened because the Pelicans were scrambling. DJ almost lost the basketball. It was chaotic. He flipped it to Kawhi. There was no time. He had to take it. Nothing to think about. Money. This was, you have 16.5 seconds left. The Clippers had a timeout. They didn't use it. They win the jump. They slowly walk the ball into the front court. I understand they didn't have a timeout Friday night, and Coach Lue didn't use it, and their offense executed, and they got it done. Tonight, I might have taken that timeout. It's Miami, and the way the Clippers were, quote-unquote, generating offense was mostly just your turn, my turn, James Harden and Kawhi. It just wasn't great. Yes, they are two of the better ISO players out there. But Kawhi settled for a tough, long three-pointer. Down one. You get a better shot than that. They could have ran a play out of a timeout. Is it the reason they lost the game? No, it's one possession. But they could have salvaged the game had they executed better there. A game where they had 21 turnovers leading to 37 points. They could have found a way, even when they weren't at their best. That's what's frustrating tonight. Because you're going to have to win a lot of games where you don't play great. Friday night was an example. They didn't play great. They still won it. The Heat are on a back-to-back. Now the Clippers were on the front end of a back-to-back. And after playing the fastest team in the league, that got them into a track meet, which the Clippers won that battle at times. I don't know what the residual effect is going to be. I don't know if we already saw it tonight with tired legs just to start the third quarter after everything they had to do to take the lead at the half to get up by 5 after being down by 10 early. I don't know what that's going to do to them. You would think they're going to be gassed tomorrow. Is Kawhi going to play? We don't know. He said he was good for back-to-backs. He's fully healthy. But Coach Lue said they're going to have to see after the game, as they should. I mean, I said last year, I don't think Kawhi should ever play a back-to-back again. Now, I'm not a doctor. And that was still with him. That was before he returned. Whatever they think is best, do so. But at the time, I'm like, could you blame him, I guess, if he never played another back-to-back given all the injuries that have happened? No. There have been so many, unfortunately. If anybody deserves some load management, it would be Kawhi. He's had real injuries. But this summer, he didn't have surgery for once. Healthiest he's been in a summer in 5 years. So we'll see. Quick timeout. I'll bring you post-game audio and comments from Coach Lue and the players after they lose 120 to 119 here at Intuit Dome. First home loss for the Clippers. They dropped to 3-3. They lose to the Miami Heat. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports. Okay, so we still got 3 more? All right, so I'll go quick this next segment. So I put out the tweet, tired, get Collins into the starting lineup, wired, get Dunn back in the starting lineup. And I thought there was a good response by PL, who said, also, not having Beal to close games hurts. That does hurt. Like, Beal not being up to speed or remotely close is hurting this team right now, unfortunately. It's not his fault. It's not anybody's fault. It's just what it is. Difficult circumstances. He looked better tonight. Had a couple of three-pointers in the corner. But he's not playing fourth quarters. He's not playing more than 20 minutes. It's tough. This team isn't whole. And that's the one thing that really worried me heading into this season. after the preseason they had, it's just like the one thing that could set them back that was concerning was Beal and his health. And is it going to be clunky getting him into the lineup? And what's that transition process going to be like? That's what had me worried. And that's not like they don't have 21 turnovers tonight because of Beal. Those last 2 turnovers by James Harden had nothing to do with Bradley Beal. I'm not putting it on him at all. It's unfortunate that their starting lineup hasn't gotten the reps that we have been hoping for. Zubaz has to get the ball more too. Period. Clippers lose 120 to 119 was your final here at Intuit Dome. Clippers drop one to the Miami Heat. They shoot 50% from the field, 17 of 41 from the outside. So what's the problem? 21 turnovers, leading to 37 points for Miami. And in that third quarter, again, the Clippers only had 6 turnovers in the first half. They had 6 turnovers in the first 3 minutes of the third quarter. It ended up being 9. It led to 17 points off of those 9 turnovers in the third. Clippers lost that quarter by 13. You're up by 5 at the half. It should have been more. They gave up an and 1 and a 3 to Norman Powell to end the second quarter when they were up by 11. And then you start the third quarter stuck in mud. Just bring the chains out. Do something. I don't know what needs to be done for this team to start halves quicker, but it's likely going to be something to the starting lineup. And while everybody's talking about John Collins, and I'm fine with that, I'm talking about Chris Dunn now too, because I've seen this in multiple games where he has flipped things around for them. It happened against Phoenix too for their first win. Chris Dunn's energy is infectious. It is about the little things and the hustle plays with him. He reminds them why they were a top 3 defense last season. So I don't think this is just about John Collins and he cures everything. And remember, we heard from Law Murray that they're still trying to get him up to speed, according to the coaching staff. And his minutes will increase when they cut down to a 9-man rotation. Coach Lou said that pregame. It's natural that will happen. He still played 25 tonight, had 12 points, 5 of 11 shooting. I wouldn't say he had a great game on the defensive end either. But you have 2 energy guys with him and Chris Dunn, and that's something you can rely on, that motor from both of them. They only know one way to play. For a team this old that looks like they're just dragging themselves up the floor at times. Now, give them credit. It may have been to their detriment, but they did play fast in the first half, and they retook the lead, regained the lead, and turned things around after being down by 10 early. A lot of that was Kawhi with that first quarter where he had 15, and he was uber aggressive, and I love seeing that, and remained aggressive, took 21 shots. I just didn't love that last shot or the last 2 shots from him on the right wing. But they weren't generating many good looks, so it's going to be a hero ball with him and James Harden. They can do it, but it's harder later in the game when fatigue is setting in. Zubats wasn't getting involved much. And with Beal not playing heavy minutes yet, he's missed late in ball games. That threat. Beal had some plays in this game that were very encouraging to me. He's coming around. It's still taking time. He played some good defense at times. He made some scrappy plays. Now, he did have a turnover right away where he left his feet looking for Ivica Zubac and said, my bad. But then had a jumper to make it 20 to 15 in the first. I think they were still down. I mean, they had a 16 to 3 run. That first quarter was incredible. You want to talk about a game of runs. So it was a 12-2 Miami run to start, then a 16-3 Clippers run, then a 17-7 Miami run after that. But anyways, Beal in the second quarter, he took it coast to coast at the 8:30 mark for a layup. Like seeing that. Then he had a steal and a bucket that made it 54 to 52. Did miss 2 free throws at the 4-minute mark of the second quarter. It wasn't great to see. Third quarter, he had a couple of threes from the far side corner where he was setting up shop. One made it 79-77 Clippers. They need him. I don't know how long he's on the minutes restriction. We'll see what we got from Coach Lou coming up. Quick timeout here. We'll get to your phone calls, 866-987-2570, 866-987-2570. But the Clippers are staring at being 3-4 if they lose this game tomorrow against Oklahoma City, who hasn't lost yet this season and are far from healthy and playing their best basketball as well. They haven't been hitting threes, so I'm sure they'll be due for a game shooting-wise from the outside against the Clippers tomorrow. This is a huge game after the Clippers drop one tonight, 120 to 119. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports. Here's something that accentuates my point about the hero ball, guys. The last 9 possessions in the last 5 minutes of tonight's game versus the Heat, all 9 possessions were ended by Kawhi Leonard or James Harden. Shots or turnovers. All 9 in the last 5 minutes, that comes from La Murray. That's just unsustainable offense. You may get away with it. It can happen. They're that brilliant as isolation players, but it is hard to do. It is a hard diet, offensive diet to live with, where you always have to play isolation basketball like that. Ty Lue said he didn't call a timeout on the final play because he didn't want to give Spoelstra a chance to set the defense, and said Kawhi didn't get the shot he wanted. Ty Lue on facing OKC tomorrow. If we turn the ball over like we did tonight, it won't be close. He's not wrong. He said 16 turnovers in the second half, same shit over and over. 9 in the third quarter. And guys, I'd love to give Miami credit, but a lot of these were unforced. Sloppy, lazy turnovers. You're not going to beat many teams that way. I want to say it was against Phoenix or Portland. They had 24 and won that game. I don't know if that created more bad habits, made them think they could do it again. Clippers lose 120 to 119 here at Intuit Dome to the Miami Heat. Welcome back in. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Talk with you till 11 o'clock tonight here on AM 570 LA Sports. We're back on the 10,000 watt flamethrower or whatever it's called. We got long reach, like Giannis Antetokounmpo, who did hit a game winner tonight, the Milwaukee Bucks. Unfortunately, Kawhi couldn't be the hero tonight. Coach Lou said post-game he didn't get the shot he wanted. And Coach Lou said post-game the reason he didn't call a timeout is because he didn't want Eric Spoelstra to be able to set up their defense, which is fair. Eric Spoelstra might be the best coach in the league, so he, Coach Lou, Steve Kerr, the Olympic guys, I could see why you wouldn't want to do that. That's logical. That's rational. I know some of you guys aren't going to like it, but you can't tell me there isn't thought to that move. Like that is not just coaching malpractice or whatever you guys want to say. It is understandable not to want to give Eric Spoelstra a timeout to set up his defense. So, look, in that case, Could Kawhi get a better shot? You're down 1. You don't need to take a 3. But he's probably feeling it. He's got 27. You just hit the game winner on Friday night. Can you blame him? He had a good fourth quarter overall. He hit a ridiculous fadeaway on the right baseline on a broken play the Clippers had no business scoring on. He and James Harden were about to win this game on just individual isolation brilliance. And that's a tough thing to do, especially against a Miami defense that came into this game ranked 3rd. But it's also not a long-term sustainable thing or would say much about how this Clippers offense is really humming right now. If you just have to rely on your 2 superstars all the time, how well or how much of a well-oiled machine do you really have? Guys, you can blame Coach Lue all you want. I'm going to encourage you to actually watch the tape from the 3rd quarter and all those 9 turnovers. You think Coach Lue asked for that? Those turnovers are inexcusable, at least 7 or 8 of them. This wasn't about Miami. This was the Clippers coming out looking lifeless. I don't know if they were tired. Mental fatigue can set in, lead to turnovers like that. But Coach Lue is not on the floor turning the ball over left and right. The offensive fouls, they had at least 2 of them in the 3rd quarter. The Clippers absolutely took their foot off the gas after leading by 5 at the half and really into that 2nd quarter. I didn't like how they played at the very end of it. I thought that could come back to haunt them. You're up by 11. It's 71-60 with 1:04 left. Norman Powell gets an and 1. James Harden takes a 3-pointer. I don't think it was a great shot. And Norman Powell then gets fouled on a 3-pointer. I'd say that was the only mistake Chris Dunn made tonight. He fouled Norman Powell on that 3-pointer. So it's a 6-0 Norman Powell run to end the 2nd quarter. Instead of being up 11, you're up 5. It's the little things sometimes. And everybody in the chat saying I won't call out Coach Lue. I already said when the show started I would have called a timeout there. But is it not fair to combat that with saying, well, you're also giving Eric Spoelstra a timeout. Maybe you don't want that. I think that's logical. That's rational. That's a reasonable position to have. I call out Coach Lue and I think it's warranted. You guys could call in and debate me on that. I'm fine with it. Alan, leaving the game, leaving the swell. Alan, you're on Clippers Talk with Adam Moslin. What's up, Alan? Well, they want him out there to space the floor, and he's been a 37% three-point shooter. It's fair. He was hot. He has been struggling the last few games. He was 2 of 7 and 1 of 6 from the outside for just 5 points tonight. I get it, but he also has to make better decisions out there. I thought he rushed some shots. When the Clippers offense was a one-pass offense, some of those were just three-pointers that weren't exactly in rhythm from Brook Lopez. I don't think he had a great game. Anything else, Alan? I don't think Brook Lopez is going to dribble it from the three-point line to the basket very often. I don't think you ask that from bigs very often. There's a few bigs that do that in the NBA. I don't think Brook Lopez is one of them. What else does he do? Well, he's one of the better rim protectors in the league and one of the better defenders. That's what else he does. and easily their best backup center since Isaiah Hardenstein. I appreciate the phone call, Alan. Let's go to Mike in LA. Mike, you're on Clipper Stock with Adam Moslem. What's up? Mike dropped? No, he's here. Mike drop. I got you, Mike. Well, the turnovers, to be fair, once Kawhi came back last season, the turnovers were down to like 13 or less a game. They became one of the better teams taking care of the basketball, which I expected to happen because so much was asked of James Harden earlier in the season. He had to force some things. When Kawhi came back, they figured that out. What's the excuse right now? Maybe there isn't one. Maybe it's early in the season and they have 4 new players they're trying to integrate, and that's part of it. I don't know. I understand, Mike. OKC is going to be really tough. They are a machine. I appreciate the phone call. So there was more of an importance on this game tonight for the Clippers to win this one. OKC is going to be favored tomorrow. Clippers got to find a way to get it. More on that coming up. Quick timeout here on Clippers Talk. I'm Adam Moslem. They lose 120 to 119 with an interesting shot selection down the stretch and turnovers galore. They have to put more of a priority on taking care of the basketball. I don't know what it's going to take right now. I'm Adam Moslem. You're listening to AM 570 LA Sports. I mean, I get it. Some of you guys just want to say Ty Lue's the problem always when the player's out there. Like, it's Ty Lue's fault that James Harden throws a pass 3 feet in front of Kawhi Leonard. I don't know how that's Ty Lue's fault. It's easy to blame one player or the head coach. It's an overly simplistic, casual take. Look, there's blame to go around. I'm fine with that. I just don't like when people put it on one person. Does Coach Lue get credit for what looked to be a pretty good lineup with keeping Kawhi in the entire first and third quarters now instead of James Harden? Like, of course not. It's just like the Dave Roberts stuff. Like, people who hate Dave Roberts would never give him credit. He ends up pushing all the right buttons. Dodgers win the World Series. I think you guys have trouble dissecting, some people in here, what the actual problems are 6 games in. But hey, maybe Coach Lue's frustrated enough with the turnovers, he might make some changes. Say one more break. Like, if Kawhi's not playing tomorrow, you're getting a different starting lineup anyways. Oh, he turned his ankle late in the game. Says we'll see how he's feeling tomorrow about his status. There you go. I thought he did. That was on the Wiggins 3. Clippers lose 120 to 119 to the Miami Heat here at Intuit Dome. They dropped to 3-3. First home loss of the season. Welcome back. I'm Adam Osland. This is Clippers Talk here on AM 570 LA Sports. 866-987-2570 is the phone number. Kawhi Leonard did admit to turning his ankle late in the ball game. We'll see how he feels in the morning. And I'm guessing he, the training staff, the doctors, and the coaching staff will get together and make that decision on whether or not he plays the back-to-back. But the Clippers dropped the front end of this back-to-back, home back-to-back. Tomorrow they have the OKC Thunder at late o'clock, an 8 o'clock tip-off, 7 o'clock pregame show. Interesting timing, but it's the Tuesday night games now on NBC that start late on the West Coast. Clippers in another one of those after just a sloppy, careless turnover fest. More turnovers than a Porto's Bakery on a Sunday. 21 leading to 37 points. You're not going to win basketball games like that. The Miami Heat had 16 leading to 25 for the Clippers. That's a good number for them, but 5 more turnovers, and they all came in the second half for the most part, 16 of them. Third quarter specifically, 9 of them, leading to 17 of those 37 points off turnovers. Just can't happen. They got beat up in the paint as well. Miami Heat had 58 points, the Clippers 48. Part of that is because Ivica Zubac wasn't exactly included. 4 of 9, got up 9 shots. I don't know if that's enough, got to be honest. I think Zoo is their third most important player when they're healthy. I think part of the defensive woes sometimes are because you don't feed your big man on the offensive end. Not to say Zoo wasn't good on the defensive end. They only credited him with 1 block. I saw he had 2 blocks on Norman Powell alone. Maybe one was a redirect, but Clippers perimeter defense hasn't been as good. Chris Dunn may have to start at some point. That's becoming a thought for me, at least. It's not just about John Collins. Chris Dunn has single-handedly turned games around back in their favor. They weren't able to win this one, but he gave them a chance. He helped turn around the game, I want to say, against Phoenix here. Just electricity running through him onto the court, permeating throughout his teammates when he's out there. You see a guy play that hard, you got to play harder. Kawhi had a couple brilliant defensive plays as well. He had 4 steals coming off a 6-steal game. But Chris Dunn, the offensive rebounds, when you see a little guy like that get up for tip outs or pull down offensive rebounds and grab a few more possessions in a game where the Clippers actually got up 5 more shots because they had 11 offensive rebounds to just 6 for Miami. Even with having 5 more turnovers than Miami, the Clippers somewhat made up for it. They tried to, at least, with offensive rebounds. And I give Chris Dunn a lot of credit there. Ivica Zubac as well had 5. Some were off of his own miss, though. His own misses. Clippers lose this one. I'm looking for more post-game audio, but I think we got another phone call before we break. Ray in Torrance. Ray, you're on Clippers Talk with Adam Oswald. Hi, Ray. So wait. Coach Lou didn't call a timeout early in the game when he saw something going wrong? Because I saw that. Give me specific, actual game plan, schematic things that Coach Lou did wrong tonight. Why is he responsible for 21 turnovers? Why is he responsible for the end of that game? So you understand post-game, he said the reason I didn't call it is because I didn't want Eric Spoelstra to get a timeout as well to set up his defense. You don't think that's logical? You're crediting Eric Spoelstra apparently for being so great. Coach Lou didn't want to give him more time to plan. So we're not putting any blame on Kawhi and taking that shot. It's all about Coach Lou. I think, with all due respect, I think you have to put some blame on players. All right. I think he was far from perfect tonight. I also think the players are the ones who turned it over 21 times, and I don't think that's a coaching plan for them to do. They didn't go into the ball game and say, "Guys, this is what we're going to do. This is how we're going to turn the ball over." This is. I just thought there were so many sloppy turnovers, and you got to blame players for stuff like that. If you want to say they should call a timeout, that's cool. I'm just going to say it's not crazy to not call a timeout when Eric Spoelstra's on the other side, and therefore he gets to set up his defense. Quick timeout. I'll call one. We'll come back. We'll close things out. Clippers lose 120 to 119 to the Miami Heat here at Intuit Dome. Clippers drop to 3-3. I'm Adam Osland, and you're listening to AM 570. This is Clippers Talk. Like, there's a guy who calls in, and I appreciate the phone call, but it's easily refuted. Like, can you all give me specifics? You thought you should call a timeout. Okay. Is it really that crazy to not want to give Eric Spoelstra more time to set up his defense? You guys think that's crazy, and that's coaching malpractice by Coach Lou. See, I may disagree and think he should call the timeout anyways, but I don't think it's crazy that he didn't want to give Eric Spoelstra time to set up his defense. That's the difference. I can see the other side. Oh, y'all just want to say Coach Lou, Ty Poo over and over again and spam and troll and not bring anything of substance. I guess Kawhi can't take any responsibility for taking a three-pointer in a one-point game when you have 16 seconds left. Okay. I just hear the same old stuff in here. Clippers need to do better. Coach Lou needs to do better. Players need to do better. James Harden cannot fall back into this late turnover pattern like we saw to start off last season. That has me a little concerned. Those two turnovers by James Harden late in this ball game, they're just completely careless turnovers. But that's on Coach Lou as well, I guess. Him throwing it 5 feet in front of Kawhi. Where's the accountability for guys actually out there on the court? Clippers lose 120 to 119. They fall by one as Kawhi Leonard misses a long three-pointer on the right wing. Couldn't be the hero tonight like he was on Friday night. Clippers drop to 3-3 on the season. They lose to the Miami Heat. Tomorrow they welcome in the Oklahoma City Thunder, who checks notes, are undefeated so far, while missing players, while missing everything from the outside to start the season. It doesn't matter because the Thunder have the most reliable thing in sports that saves them, and it's spectacular defense, always. They always bring it defensively. Every single game. And when you're that good defensively, you can win a lot of ball games. Clippers last season were the third best defense, and that's probably the biggest reason why they won 50 games. They haven't looked like that so far. The guy who started the majority of those games last season was Chris Dunn. I'm wondering if they need to bring him back into the starting lineup to regain that defensive identity, because he plays harder than just about anybody you'll see. And the Clippers need a reminder of how to play defensively. They gave up 120 tonight, 124, I think, Friday night. They have not been stout. And then you compound that by turning the basketball over, letting Miami get in the transition. Yeah, you're probably going to lose a ball game with 21 turnovers leading to 37 points. They did. 120 to 119 was your final. Clippers fall to the Heat. Tomorrow night, tip-off is at 8 here at Intuit Dome. Pre-game show starting at 7. Before we get out of here, I do want to thank Ralph Lawler, Brian Seaman, Noah Eagle, Carlo Jimenez on the call. Big brother Jake Warner, our head engineer here at Intuit Dome. Daniel West, our producer, back in the bank. I'm Adam Moslin. Hopefully see you guys right back here tomorrow night. Clippers, OKC Thunder, tip off at 8. Talk to you then.